Hi, Rico Canero here, and today we're going to go through the sports items that I have in my Virgin Islands collection. So, what we're looking at here is an Olympic stub, actually, the full ticket from the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia. And right here it says baseball, and then it says USVINOC for United States Virgin Islands National Olympic Committee. All right. So the other thing is, I want to share with you the fact that at the Olympics, there's about 200 different countries. And at these countries, there's about 50 different languages that are spoken. So when all the athletes come together in the Olympic Village to communicate and to build friendships and stuff like that, what they do is they give every athlete and delegate a set of pins, probably about 50 pins or so, and they put one on their collar. And that way, when they're walking around, as the people see their pin, if they like it, they can trade. So even though they don't share the same language, they share the same connection as far as, okay, I'm a boxer, I want to trade for boxing pins. I do play baseball, I want to trade for baseball pins. And these are some of the pins that my dad collected through the years as a delegate at the Olympics. He went from 1972 all the way up to 96. So I'm going to go over here now. And here's some more of the patches that he wore when he was in the Olympics. And as a participant, some of the things that he was given was this medal. So this is 1984 in Los Angeles. And this was the Olympics where he met Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing with the basketball team. This is Barcelona, Spain in 92. And then this was his last Olympics in 96 at Atlanta again. So now we come over here. When people think about athletes from the Virgin Islands, the first thing that comes to mind is almost always Tim Duncan. So as you see right here, we have action figures, we have a number of different things. But one of the things you may not think of is Lego blocks. So they actually made a Lego of Tim Duncan. One of the other things is video games. So this is an old Nintendo 64. Then we have, here's a PlayStation 2, backyard basketball, Tim Duncan. And we even have a Sprite can with Tim Duncan. And, of course, cereal, Slam Dunkins. Now, I have about 300 different cards that were issued in his image, but one of my favorite is one that has the Virgin Islands flag on there. So him representing the Virgin Islands on this flag, on this particular card, it's a treasured piece of my collection. Now, with that being said, Duncan appeared on probably about 19 different Sports Illustrated magazines, but the first Virgin Islander to appear on a cover was actually Elrod Hendricks. In 1970, the Baltimore Orioles won the World Series, and he was an integral part of that particular team. Elrod lived and spent many years on the island of St. John. Matter of fact, I actually played baseball against his son Scobie that lived there. Now, he also, before he made it into the major leagues, played for a number of years in the Mexican Baseball League. And here he is right here, where he was known as the Mexican Babe Ruth for hitting so many home runs. Some of the more interesting pieces that he has is that he was in a cookbook, and there's one of his favorite recipes, and he signed it right there. Now, his image is also on a cartoon here with a playing card. And one of the more unique items, pretty tiny, but you take a look. It's on some matches. Now, like I say, Elrod Hendricks, he actually played for the Orioles for probably 12 or 13 years, but then he managed for a number more. So in total, he spent about 28 years in a Major League uniform, which is a record. So next character I want to share with you is Alvin McBean. So most people, when you see Tim Duncan on a Sprite can, you think, well, he must be the first Virgin Islander to appear on a soda bottle. But guess what? In 1964, Alvin McBean was the first. And not only was he the first on a Coke bottle, he was also the first on a cereal box. This is from a Post cereal. I think this is 1963. One of the things I really like also is that after his playing days, he came back to the Virgin Islands to help grow sports in the Virgin Islands and to support the people there. This is one of his business cards, and he actually signed it. In 1963, he won the Roll-Age Relief Man for the best relief pitcher in baseball, and he was given a plaque. And this is the actual sketch, the drawing that was used to make his plaque. Now, next person I'm going to move on to is Emil Griffith. Now, he's a 6-time boxing champion. He's in the Boxing Hall of Fame. But here he is pictured on TV Times. And for those of you old enough to remember, to find out what was coming on TV, you had to buy these little booklets, and they would list what would be coming on TV on any given day. Another unique item here is after he retired, he became a trainer, and he made these VHS tapes on how to teach people how to box. Shortly before his death, a movie was made about his life called Ring of Fire, and it's still out on DVD to this day where you can learn more about him. One of the things most people don't know about him is, although he was a boxer and in a really tough sport, he was also a musician and a singer. So here's an album that he made. And this is a very unique piece. This was given to my mom a number of years back, where there was an event at the College of the Virgin Islands where both Julian Jackson, a Boxing Hall of Famer, and Emil Griffith were there. They came over to say hi to her, and they both signed it. Nice piece. 2 Virgin Islands heroes and Hall of Famers on one item. Last person I'm going to show you is Peter Jackson. He was the black heavyweight champion of the world. And I say black heavyweight champion of the world because the white heavyweight champion of the world refused to fight him. So in the late 1880s, this gentleman left St. Croix, went to Australia, became the Australian champion, then went to Europe, became the European champion, then came to the United States and tried to get the champ to fight him, but he refused to fight him, saying he refuses to fight against a black man. So right over here, I want to show you this last piece. It's Le Petit Parisien newspaper from, I think, 1893, with him on the cover as a heavyweight champion. So hope you enjoy my collection. And again, Rico Canero, thank you.